another episode of Mental Odyssey. Today, we are following up on these 4 questions of this season with somebody that's really important to me. We have gained a pretty cool relationship over the last few years, and that is my stepdad, Jason, my mom's husband. I'm really excited for you guys to hear this podcast. Let's jump right into it. Well, hello, Jason.
Hello, Sarah.
Hi. Hey, so I have some questions that I'm asking a bunch of people, and I just want to know the answers that you would have. So
Okay.
I'm going to jump into it. So the first question is, how would you recommend handling rejection, or how would you bounce back from rejection?
I'm in the middle of, I don't know if you'd necessarily call it rejection, but at this present point in time, this is a great question because I have just dealt with my boss on a different level of rejection. I was doing my job and it wasn't good enough because there's others in the office saying things to cover their ass, and ultimately it comes down to they're blaming me for all mistakes. So I have been debating this. This happened last Thursday.
How long have you been with this company?
I'm 14 years.
Holy shit. Wow.
And the boss pretty much basically told me I was a piece of shit because he thinks that I was going to cost him money. And, you know, he's like taking me off that type of product that we're doing.
That's so fucked.
Another chance. It is fucked.
After 14 years of doing it well.
He didn't even come to me in the first place. I went to him.
Wow.
What was going on, and he wouldn't have nothing to do with it. So I and your mother went to John Canan's workshop, and we basically were helping him conduct this thing. And has these 9 agreements in it, and it's a way of looking at life in a different perspective and listening to what they had to say about it. Again, I've gone and done this multiple times, student and staff. And what had happened, I was listening to him, and my boss was in his flaming red circle. You know, he wasn't doing anything I had to say. Ultimately, it comes down to him. You know, and it's not necessarily me, because I truly feel like I did my job. He's getting upset with me for doing my job, doing what everyone told me I had to. But I'm still dealing with, I do a good job and someone saying that I'm not doing a good job.
And not just someone, like your boss of 14 years.
Owner.
Someone who knows you really well as a worker.
Yeah. And, you know, at the end of the day, I know the guy's a punisher, so I feel like right now my job's on the line. I'm under a microscope. You know, the other thing is I went to him and talked with him, and he's not used to he thinks, well, I'm almost assuming, but I believe that he thinks that, you know, that's some type of conflict with him. He's going there to talk to my side of the story. So I've been dealing with that. Do I have an answer? Normally, I'm not in any type of situation like this.
Yeah.
It's like new for me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
I feel like this is a type of rejection.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So with what you said, we'll probably have to come back to it when I come to some kind of resolve. I haven't
Yeah.
resolved. Still
Yeah. So this is like a stay tuned follow up later kind of question for you,
yeah,
because you're deep in it like I am right now.
yeah, yes, and I'm even thinking of finding another job.
Yes.
I'm even thinking that maybe it's time to change careers.
After 14 years. That's so crazy. I mean,
I was
it's
with
not a bad time. It's not a bad time to change careers, but
well, my
God.
age has factors too.
Right, exactly. Your body doesn't function the way that it once
Well,
did.
no, I'm 52,
Yeah.
an old dog. You know,
Yeah,
So how much more does he have in him?
exactly.
That's where I'm at on that question. So,
Well, I'll have to follow up later. We'll do a follow up episode
and,
and hopefully come to some kind of resolve, whether it's, a better conversation with your boss or just finding a new place.
I'm almost thinking it's not necessarily my problem.
I mean, yeah.
Hanging on till maybe it'll blow over.
Mm-hmm. But that's not
No,
resolve.
no,
That's blowing
no, it's
over
not.
is we still didn't talk about it. It's still there.
I don't think there'll be resolve with him
Yeah.
on the subject
The
because
resolve is from finding somewhere else.
there was things said that I didn't even do. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That
like
brings
they
in like
said,
your character.
oh yeah, yeah, that's the other part that bothers me the most. I really wanted to tell him, to fuck off, but
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
I didn't
enough.
because I still gotta pay the bills.
Yeah, I definitely sympathize with you because I've been going through the same shit at my job. So,
Yeah. Well, they give you know, in my brain, I'm the best at what I do there.
yeah,
You
right.
know,
I mean,
because
with how long you've been doing it and,
that's all I'm trying to do this whole time is make
yeah,
it, being the best. I want to be I honestly can tell you, I want to be the best.
you're probably a perfectionist, Jason.
Very much.
Yeah.
How much that is true.
Yeah.
With, everything that I do, I still think of things as if it was mine, no matter what I'm doing.
I'm going
Yeah.
to have you on the podcast that I do about perfectionism because we can share stories.
Yeah, we can talk to the madness.
Yes. Yes. And
It
how
is.
it doesn't
It
pay
is.
off. You can work
It.
way harder than somebody else and they're going to pay you the same and respect you the same. And
I think on that end of it, it is so true.
yeah.
But when the things that I feel like on the perfectionist part, when it's for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
can't. It can't be any other way.
Right. Right.
It can't be. I
Yeah.
mean, it can't. Even with what I do at work, it can't be. I basically what's happened here is I broke it down to where things that I would normally do that would take time to be fixed,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that.
Mm.
I had to stop because he bitched at me about time and how things take too much time.
Right. Right. You're like, okay, I'll half-ass it next time. Thank you.
No, to be honest, I feel like that's what they're asking me to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I feel that.
It does not make any sense to me. And at the same time, I see so many other employees do it.
Right. Right. It's
You
so
know?
hard. It's so hard too because to ask somebody like us that like takes significant pride in their work and wants to go above and beyond because it makes you feel good.
Mhm.
Like it's hard to half-ass things.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to like half care about things because that's just not who you are.
It's good. No, I'm not. It's good. I'm
No,
not in.
I
But there's
feel you.
some to get away with so much shit.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
This is.
And you probably didn't hear any feedback before the chastising. Like he probably
Oh,
wasn't telling
not
you, "Oh, you
once
do a wonderful job. We're so
did I hear that. Not once did I hear
right."
you. You are the best, and we are so glad you're on our team. Not once did I hear that.
Right.
You know what I got? As soon as I got done with the work, I got more work.
Yep.
That's what I.
Yep.
You know, it's insanity.
It is. It really is.
You
Well,
know,
we'll have to what
you know, this day and age, they do not want quality.
no. No. It's about how quick and how cheap can we get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bottom line, it's about the money. Oh
Yep. Yep.
yeah. And what's the next question?
Yes. So the next question that I have is, what is the antidote to loneliness?
Well, I can honestly tell you, Sarah, that for the most part, I haven't been lonely.
Really?
Yeah, I lived with my parents. I got married in high school. I was with Holly for 28 and a half years. She passes. I had a month by myself. I had a friend needed to get out of a situation and asked me if he could come and live with me. This was after Holly died.
Mm-hmm.
Adam said, "Hey, is there any way I can come live with you? I'll pay your lot rent." And I thought, yeah, that'd be cool. I was kind of, in a way, I was lonely, but no one would leave me alone
Yeah.
after,
I mean,
after
you're the
Holly.
go-to guy.
Yeah, they talked to me. You know, everybody was talking to me all the time. I was on the
Yeah.
phone, and you know, I can honestly tell you, in my, if we'll call it loneliness, right, my loss of Holly, I felt very lost at the time.
Mm. I
Very
can
lost.
imagine after, I mean, you grew into adults together.
Yeah,
Like
like
you went through like multiple life-changing transitions together. Becoming
I,
parents and getting a
like,
house.
yeah, getting, yeah. Well, I can talk to what it's like to be with someone so long. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a different podcast.
I mean, yeah, might as well. Let's go.
Okay. Being with someone that long, I've realized I'm an analyzer. I analyze things.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that women change every 5 years,
I think you're
and
right.
I believe men change every 10.
Mm.
I think because of what I've heard things like girls grow up faster than men, or boys, I should say, boys and girls. Girls grow up faster than boys, and I believe because of your guys' growth on I want to say a brain cycle or
Mm-hmm.
your maturity cycle
Where we like
change.
we go for like a reboot, like a new update every 5 years.
Well, hair color changes,
Yep.
hair changes, makeup changes, the things you wear change,
Mm-hmm.
always kind of stay steady. And then eventually, oh, I'm gonna wear this, you know, or, I mean, just that type of, change.
I
I
feel like that
watched,
makes a lot of sense.
I watched a young woman, right, change into a woman.
Right.
Yeah.
And a wife and a
Yeah.
mother.
Mother and kids and
Yeah.
struggles and depression and I was there. I never ran.
Yeah.
I stuck it out. But that's my personality. I stick things out. I don't give up.
Right.
No matter how hard it gets, even though I want to just go, I stick it out. I had a job. I started a job when I barely turned 19. And it was a Lumatech, and I was there for 16 years.
Oh my God.
I was at, and then after that, I went to school for welding. I was at the DATC, technical college. I did that. I did that for almost a year. And then I went through, I kind of had a spurt there where I went through jobs. I went through like 3 jobs, and then I got laid off.
Mm.
And then I got another job. I went back to the school, talked to my teacher. He got me another job. I was there for another year, and then they laid me off. And then I went and got another job, and they laid me off. And after that point, I was like, I need a break. So I actually, I looked for a job, but I was trying to find something that I wanted to do. And I was laid off for like 13 months.
Oh, wow.
Meantime, I was looking for a job and working as a volunteer teacher at the DATC.
Oh, that's cool. A little bit of passion.
Yeah, so that's where I ended up starting to make art. I realized that I'm an artist.
Yeah.
And started making the metal art.
Which I wish everybody could see because it's beautiful.
Thank you.
You do a really good job.
Yeah, it all comes into that perfectionist.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like you have to have a way to get it out. Like being an artistic person or being a creative person or an analytic person, like you have to have somewhere where like the perfectionism pays off.
Right.
Something to channel it into that actually like gives you something back.
Especially when you want it.
Right.
But in a way, it becomes obsession.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Because you finally get to channel it into something that, you create.
Yep.
Something from nothing.
Right. Something you can be proud of that like lasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
It is.
I'm so glad that we share that.
I am too.
Right? It is quite an amazing thing. After Holly passed, I was going down, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I was not. At that moment after she passed, I was not in my right mind. Kind of opened something up in me that I didn't realize was there, is the fact that my ego, before Holly died, I had a huge ego. Yeah. Being sure of yourself, confidence beyond confidence. And then when she passed, it brought that giant block building down and humbled me into a different world. I wasn't sure about anything, really.
I think people call that an ego death.
Yeah. I still have it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, obviously.
you can't be a perfectionist without it.
Right.
But at the same time, I look at things differently. I look at people different. I look at situations different. I even look at death different.
Mm-hmm. How
It's
so?
just the fact that I even hate to say it, but in all reality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me like it used to. I
Mm,
get sad. It makes me sad. What makes me sad are the people that have to go through it.
right.
After going through it, you know, it brings a different level. I haven't lost my parents,
Yeah.
so I haven't even seen that part of death. I don't even know what that's going to
Right. Right. It's
do.
different levels too. Like I've
It is.
never lost a pet. Like I've never lost a dog before.
Yeah,
Like
that.
Snickerdoodle is old as shit, but he's still around and he's the only like the first dog that I had in my life.
Oh, Sarah, it's
I know. Every time that I look at Shasta's graying face, and like every time that I remember that she's not a puppy anymore and she's actually 9 years old, it's like,
yeah.
whoa.
I I buried many.
Ugh.
The one that affected me the most, his name was Bouncer.
Oh.
I don't know if I've ever talked about Bouncer, but I can truly say that Bouncer was my dog. Like he was my dog. Everybody asked me, he got heavy. He was a German pointer, a German short hair pointer mix, and they get tumors and stuff.
Mm,
He got really heavy. I don't know what was going on in him, but he got really heavy and stuff. And my whole thing is, till they can't go to the food bowl, they can live.
yeah. Yeah.
Because they don't want to die. I mean, ultimately, none of us want
Right.
it. So that part of it, when he died, that ripped another hole.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's, if you ever want to, if it happens and you want to talk about
No, absolutely.
it,
Absolutely. I'm going to need all the support. Like, it makes me sad as fuck just thinking about it right now. And it's not even happened, you know? Like, I have a
well,
few more good years and it still is just
yeah,
like, fuck.
just I believe there's a reason. I don't know what the reason is, but there's a reason. Why they have such a short span.
Right.
You know, I think it's to help us with the rest of it.
Right. Right.
You know, if that makes sense.
You get to have like multiple deep relationships that you see through to the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people will get more dogs. It takes them a minute to get over that,
Right.
or a cat, or a hamster or a rat, or
Mm-hmm.
that affects them in that way.
Right.
I just, it's kind of wild on the death end of things. So it's kind of changed.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
I mean, I've lost quite a few people for being as young as I am. Obviously, people see more death, but like I was at a really young age. Like I always took death really hard. It was all open casket, and at a young age to see like a dead body like that
right,
that you used to know. Like I
right.
used to know that like I saw this person
Yeah,
alive.
there was a soul.
Yeah, and it's just so empty. I mean, one of the hardest deaths that I have been through was with my dad's best friend, Chris.
Yeah.
He was fighting cancer for like at least 5 years when
Oh wow.
he was given like 6 months and then fought it for 5 years. And
Battle.
I remember that a lot of the times that we would go to visit him in that time, like there were a couple times where it was like, okay, we're getting together because he's probably not going to be here for much longer.
Right.
And like I already, like my primary emotion is sadness. And so it's the easiest thing for me to feel. And I was so sad because it's like there's multiple layers to it. Obviously, seeing a person go from who you know them as to like eaten away by cancer and chemotherapy.
Right.
Like it's a whole different thing, but it also brings in the mortality of like he has 4 kids that he left behind that like were still in school.
Right.
And like him and his wife were soulmates. Like you could feel it like radiating off of them when you would see them interact with each other. And like he was such a good person. Such a good person. Always so kind to everybody, wanted to make everybody feel included.
Right.
And it happened at a time where my relationship with God was really bad, where I felt like super betrayed. And that just like added on top of it. I was like, why would something like that happen to such a kind, loving person? You know, like why did that have to happen? Which is a hard thing to think of, you know?
You talking to it like that.
Yeah.
I was angry.
Yeah.
With the Lord. I was angry with the Lord.
Rightfully
was
so.
Really upset with it.
Like, why the fuck? Why am I going through this? You know, why did that person have to go through that?
Yeah.
Like, there's people that get to live a long life cheating and stealing and hurting other people, you know?
Well,
and themselves.
Well, that's the ones with the most pain. They get to live the longest.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
if
crazy.
You would have told me Holly would have died before me, I'd have called you a liar.
Right.
Overweight, smoking, drinking. I'm just thinking, whatever. Yeah. I'm in it, and now I'm in it. I'm in a second life.
Right.
Seriously.
A whole new one.
Whole new one, whole different person, different family.
Different age, like you're entering it as a completely different person.
Yeah, totally.
The last question that I had is, how did you pick your career?
I come down to, I had a job working at a body shop. Okay. I was very young when I started this job. I was 17, and I was well, let's talk to my first job. My first job, I was a busser at a Chinese restaurant called the North Seas. And I worked there all pretty much through high school, and then I left there. I needed more money, so I left there. I went and worked for a body shop. I made pennies more, but I thought the body shop would be cooler,
Right. You could at least learn something.
I was thinking even a trade, even.
Yeah.
All they wanted me to do was detail the cars after I was done. I was washing them and stuff, and then I'd help the body guys do stuff.
Well, so not much different than the first job. Just kind of cleaning up.
Yeah, kind of clean up everything. And then in the middle of that, my boss, I was looking for a job, and somebody called up. I was applying, and they called up, and he was kind of an ass, my boss. But, it was my first lesson, right? What I'm dealing with.
Right. What it's like to be employed.
He basically got upset with me. Well, Holly got pregnant. I needed more money. I asked him for more money. He told me he wasn't giving me more money. So I started looking for another job. And I was dumb enough to tell him, hey, I need Friday off because I need a job interview. I'm gonna go
Oh
do it.
no.
You know. So I mean, at the time I was kind of naive about that stuff. I didn't know.
Right.
You know. Well, he said, well, why don't we do this? You finish up till that day off, right? And then you can permanently go look for a new job.
Damn.
So I was like, so, I thought, God,
Valuable lesson learned.
oh, yeah, we never
Don't show
shit
your
about
cards ever again.
that. We're never saying shit about nothing. And so I was off for about a month looking, and we had some neighbors, and her dad, he did landscaping, and he needed help digging like this small trench for sprinklers. And so he knew I needed money, so he goes, hey, how about you come and help me for a day or two? And he goes, I think I got a lead on a job. So I helped him, and he goes, okay, I want you to go over and I want you to go talk to Alan Christiansen. He has a business called Lumitech, and he's looking for employees. Well, at the time, I was making $3.49. That was minimum wage.
Whoa.
At the body shop. I go in, and Alan says, hey, fill out this application. So-and-so sent you. I said, yeah. He goes, okay. He's a cool dude. I like him. He's a good judge of character. So he says, fill this application. I fill it out. He looks at the application, and I said I wanted $5 an hour. I thought, okay. He goes, you got a kid, right? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, I'll give you $5.50. He had me at $5.50. I was like, oh my God.
Not
I'm
knowing
making
that other people are making 7, 8, 9.
I'm making $2 more. I don't know what they were making,
Right.
but and that's when it began. That's when I started doing doors, and I worked my way from the lowest job all the way up to plant manager.
Oh, wow.
I was good at my job. I was good at Lumitech. I at that point I was ordering millions of dollars of aluminum and product, and I ran a crew of 23 plus shipping, receiving, I was ordering all the materials, for the job and production. And yeah, it was nuts. That was a pretty big responsibility at that time. So in a way, my circumstances helped me choose my job.
Needing to make more money, and then
the family and those decisions. I stuck it out. I stayed there. I didn't go anywhere. This is how I feel like I needed to do that, and I needed something steady. I needed to put my heart into it because it needed to be steady, and in turn for the company to be successful, I would be successful because I'm there working there.
Right.
So,
right.
I would
and
work.
After being laid off in the past.
Yeah. Countless hours.
Yeah.
There. I actually got fired from Lumitech.
Oh, is that the place? Damn.
Yeah. Lumitech. The boss was drunk. It involved his youngest son telling me he was going to be my boss. And anyway, boss comes down and fired me.
Damn.
Pretty wild. That's when I went on unemployment. I was the first candidate in Davis County to get paid unemployment and go to school.
Damn.
Yeah, it was really cool. And they paid for it all.
They paid for it?
No, they paid for the whole
That's
program.
way cool.
Bought all my books, everything.
That's the way to put somebody on unemployment. Like, hey, I'll pay you to go be able to not be on unemployment again.
Well, I think one of the reasons they did that is because how long I was at my job. Like, they're like, oh my God, this is all this guy knows. what door company is he going to work for? You know,
Right.
she
At
gave me,
that point, that's all you got.
yeah, she gave me a choice. I could be a trucker, or I mentioned that I had welded before, so she's like, "Do you want to weld or do you want to be a trucker?" I thought trucker. No, hey, no way do I want to be a trucker. How do you what do you feel about nursing?
Hell
You know,
no.
you don't think you could do nursing?
Hell no. No, I care a lot more about people's minds than their bodies.
Okay. Well, what about going to school for that?
I don't know, man.
Hmm?
I don't know if school's for me. The
Oh,
reason
sorry.
that I asked that question is because it's hard for me to see what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Like, I know what I'm good at,
Yeah.
which here's the ego part. Like, I'm good at most things, right? Like, most things that I know I'm like really good at.
Okay.
Like, I kind of pride myself on being a little bit of a jack of all trades, where it's like, if you show me how to do it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it well, you know?
Oh, okay. Let me give you a different perspective than I know. Okay. When I went to school, public school, and in a way in my brain, I was forced to, right? It
Uh-huh.
was you had to do it. You got to graduate. You got to graduate. You got to graduate, right? Your parents, you got to go to school or I'm going to kick your ass the whole time. And I got opportunity to go to school after my years, right? And I was actually going to school for me.
Right.
And it just changed my whole brain when it was for me. It wasn't about anyone else in the world. No one else was counting on me, just me counting on myself to do, to do it and actually get to choose what I wanted to do. Like
Right.
there's, public school, they're choosing everything. When you do
Yeah,
it for
you don't
you,
have a choice in what you're learning, like obviously you can choose your electives, but that's not the main bit of
no.
what you learn.
But when you get to choose what you're actually wanting to do,
Right.
it's a whole new ball. I'm
See,
telling
it's hard for me to like I can definitely see the perspective, but I don't have that perspective because to me
you.
I still feel like somebody is making me go to school. Like the fact that the only way that I can channel what I have, which I think is like a connection to human beings, right? Like that's what my passion is just like connecting to other human beings and being able to like see their brains, see their like souls, see their thoughts and their ideas. Like that's what I enjoy doing. And like the only job that pays for that is really like therapy, being a
Yeah.
therapist.
And
I mean, there's like roundabout ways of going to it, but
well, school, but with school, they give you the tools to maybe see it in a different perspective.
well, you
Than,
also have to do generals, which is not something that I want to do.
yeah, general.
Like you have to go back and on top of high school, go and do the same fucking shit that you've been doing before you can
Right.
do what you want to do. And that pisses me off.
Oh, yeah. Well, like when I went to the technical college, I did this was kind of cool. They want to see where you're at, right? Where you're reading, what math
The
you're on,
acuplacer or whatever.
where you're at. And so I'm like, is there a limit on time? And they're like, no, you can take as long as you want. I like took forever, right? I looked at every question I had, and if I didn't know it, I didn't do it, right? But they had story problems. And so we're in there and we're grading it. Okay. And I was there when she was grading it. She's sliding it through the thing, right? She
Mm-hmm.
gets back, she's looking it all over, and she goes, huh. I'm like, what? What do you mean, huh? She goes, that's something I've never seen before. And I'm all, what are you talking about? And she goes, I have, in my 25 years of doing this, I've yet to see one person get all the questions right on story problems. Like, I solved all the story problems.
That's crazy.
So, like, I'll give you an example, right? Like, so the train is going to go this distance, right? And it's this many miles, and it's this, how many minutes is that going to be?
Mm-hmm.
But then they got harder, right? They'd have like totally different, like, ups and downs and here and out, and then at the end it'd go, well, how many do they have left? Like, it was like nutty questions, but I could solve it because I could see it. It was kind of wild. She goes, that is really cool that somebody got them all right.
That is awesome.
One. Yeah. That's like my claim to fame there. That's funny. Right. I'm proud of that.
You should be.
Yeah, I was really proud of that. Yeah. So, how do you pick a career?
Yeah.
Well, what are your options? That's the biggest question, sir. What are your options? I know you're hella smart, The other question is, what do you want to do? What I hear you, I've heard you say multiple times, you want to either go into some kind of counseling or, help people.
Yeah.
Well, there's a process, just like you're painting. You have to do the process to get there, and I know it's not the process you want to do.
Yeah, that shit pisses me off.
I know. But they'll tell you in psychology, you have to get over that. You know what you need to do, and you just do it. You're smart. You'll get past the generals fast. You got to put in the work to get the work done. Nothing comes easy. But you're a perfectionist. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing comes easy.
No, exactly. And I feel like I have to choose my heart because, like, I am a highly neurotic person, Jason. Like, I feel so fucking hard. And I am not, like, I was talking with Tom about this earlier. Like, I am not a grinder. Like, I am like a very in my head type person. I can't be like, just like put my nose down and get through it type shit. 'Cause like every day is intentional,
I get it.
Like, it's hard to, like, it's 8 years of schooling.
Okay.
Right? And then 2,000 supervised hours on top of that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I'm highly neurotic and I pick up the emotions of other people. Well, and as much as I enjoy doing it in like my personal life, if I was doing that for a job all of the time,
it'd be hard to push that.
It would be hard. Like, I feel like I would have to be in a different place with myself.
You'd have to be numb.
Right. I would have to not care deeply about these people. And the other thing is that, like, as a therapist, you have probably the deepest conversations that they have with anybody else. You know the absolute most about their life. And as soon as
things that's happened to them.
What was that?
They tell you the most horrific things that have happened.
Like, things nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And then when they're like, therapy's not for me anymore, you never get a conclusion to that fucking story. You have all of their fucking bullshit and you don't know how the story fucking ends.
How much do I owe you?
Right.
I'm so young.
Right. Like it's crazy to me because like as much as I want to help people,
Right.
I don't know if that's the route. Like I do not want to go back to school. Like I really fucking don't. Like I feel very much still pressured by the bigger person, you know, whatever it is, like parents or the requirements. Like the only way that I can channel who I am as a human being is to go to 8 years of school that I don't fucking want to do.
Well,
To go and like get paid for other people's problems. Like also, I have to charge those people an arm and a leg because now I have to pay off my schooling.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Then what's the alternative?
That's the question, isn't it?
What's the alternative? Well, you can continue down this path, or you could. Well, the job that you went for, what exactly was it for?
It's basically like a personal assistant job.
Okay. Well, that's not the
Like
only
personal assistant / like receptionist.
Okay. I imagine there's more of those out there. And I wouldn't look at this as a defeat, that you made it all the way to the end of the process. That says a lot right there. They could have encountered somebody that had an education that they wanted. They could have had some different education they've already done this and they did it, than starting with someone fresh.
Right.
Yeah. And like you said, ultimately, if they beat you, then they deserve it.
Yep.
It's just
as much as it sucks.
It just sucks. In the back of your brain, that just sucks, though.
It does.
But, at the same time, there's going to be more, and the universe will give you, a different route. This wasn't the one.
Right.
If it was the one, you'd be in that seat.
I feel like I'm in like a place where I have to make a decision because it's like, okay, I just spent a month and 5 days on this process, right? Like putting all my energy into that.
Yeah.
Hoping for that. And so I can go and do it again, right? For another job. Like, I feel like I need to pause and try and figure out what the lesson to be learned from this is.
Well,
because like ideally that would have been a really nice job for me. Like a 4-minute drive from my house, being a personal assistant, which is something that I've been trying to do for a while because it taps into like the perfectionism in a way that actually pays off. And I like that. I like being able to channel it into something that like is productive for somebody else. And on a small scale like that, you don't get lost in the mix. Like you're directly working with one person every day to make shit happen. So like I like the idea of that because it like goes towards what I want to do in a sense,
The money wouldn't have hurt.
And the money wouldn't have fucking hurt.
No.
Like I would start being able to get out of debt. Yeah. Which is really cool. Like it's not something that I'm comfortable with. So, but then I sit there and I'm like, like this is a chance to reflect and actually ask my question, like what do I actually want to do? Yeah. Like what do I want to do? Like is the universe trying to show me that like, hey, let's try something else, Like what is the lesson that I should be learning from this? And so that's like one of the reasons that I wanted to ask this question is just like how do you choose what to do? How do you choose a career? How do you like channel what you like to do? Which I assume that there's a lot of people that are just like I enjoy my job. It's not like my passion. It's not like my favorite thing in the world, but like I like my job.
I don't know what the percentage is, but most
Right.
human beings hate their job.
Right.
You know.
And I don't want to be one of them. Like, my energy is too important.
Yeah. I think your mother likes her job, but I don't think she likes all the stuff that she does.
Right. She's very good at her job.
She is. Your mom's a monster when it comes to that stuff.
Right.
You know, like.
She's worth at least 3 employees.
Yeah. And they don't pay her enough.
No. They couldn't. They couldn't pay her enough.
Still working. She had 47 hours this morning.
Oh my God.
Still there at 8:30. Yeah.
Maybe she's a workaholic. Maybe that's what this is.
But here we are. When she has something to do, and time sensitive, and she knows she needs to get it done, she will work.
It's all she can focus on.
The saddest part is she can't take the whole weekend to sleep.
Right.
We're going to something that your mom has wanted to go to for 2 years.
Isn't it the Brett Young concert?
Huh? It is.
Oh my God, I wish I could go to that.
He so has been wanting to go to that for 2 years. Like, we were going to fly out to Washington to see him play. Like, we were thinking about spending almost, it was like $1,500 to go see him.
Oh my God.
And I go, he's going to come, you know. He might not come to Utah. Well, when we found out he was going to Rexburg, I was like, no brainer. We'll drive up and go see him.
Right.
Yeah. That's the other, that's the thing right there.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. She's excited. But then, she'll probably sleep most of the morning, and then we go do the Brett Young, and then head back, and then we go back to work.
That's kind of another thing that drives me to like try and figure some of this stuff out now, right? Because like I see how exhausted my mom is. Yeah. And like obviously some of it is like actually body related in the sense of, like her body's not doing what it's supposed to. But there's also like there's circumstances that play into it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like her job is exhausting.
It is. Mentally, it challenges her every
right.
Single. Like, yeah, I got to hear her go, I'm using skills I didn't think I had. She still tries to come home with a smile. Even though I know deep down inside she just wants to sleep. Yeah. Well, and then I try to take care of her, At least I got that opportunity.
Right. And I think that's her love language.
It is.
Being taken care of.
Yeah, it is.
It's mine too.
Does Tom know that?
Oh, yeah. He takes good care of me.
Tell him.
He knew that he was going to be making most of the meals for our whole relationship before we got into a relationship. That's how he got me in. Some good food.
That's your mother in.
Right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's funny. I just need to get back to, I work too much too, and then trying to come home and do a different recipe. I don't know. It's all crazy. All the stuff that needs to be done in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is so much now.
Yep.
Food, rent, just living.
Right.
2 people. There's no around 2 people having to work. They have to work or you're bummed.
Right.
Serious.
It's not an option.
Wow. Well, I've had such a wonderful conversation with you.
I have too, Jason. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah, I like the question.
Yeah. Thank you for this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, if you want more resources, I still, there's a lot going on in this brain.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll have to do this more often.
Yeah, I listen to those, some of the podcasts I listen to.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
You might be able to do this for a job.
Right. If I could do nice. That would be ideal.
With the headphones on, the headphones on.
Right. Right.
What are we doing today? What are we doing today? But talking with you, you were a little more relaxed. Like the other podcasts sound like a podcast voice.
Right.
But you were like really relaxed today.
Yeah, that's good. Is nice.
Yeah, I like the questions. If you get more attention.
Yes, absolutely. I'll probably come up with a few of these. So keep me updated. We'll have to meet again after you figure out the work stuff.
Yeah, I will. We'll see. We'll see how I feel in a month.
Yes. I look forward to getting an update. I love you, Jason. Thank you for being on here.
Yeah. You got a lot of material.
I do. I love it. It's perfect.
We were talking good stuff.
Yes, exactly. It's all useful.
I love you.
I love you. I hope you have a good night.
You too, Shani.
I'll talk to you later. Bye. Mental Odyssey is a Dream and Do podcast, produced and edited by yours truly. The music is owned by Chill Hop, and this song is Velocities by Sleepy Fish. Go check them out. Thanks for being here.